This dash cam captures crystal clear video. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and I have to say I drive a lot. I write about cars, so I even drive a lot of different vehicles. All that time on the road, I just see interesting things. Sometimes it's really cool stuff, like I might be by an airport and see a plane land right in front of me. Other times it's accidents or almost accidents. Worst case scenario is I get involved in an accident. In those situations, it's really great to have video footage to see what actually went on. So if the person in front stopped randomly and you hit them, you can see, why did you stop on the highway with no warning or anything? Or why didn't your brake lights work? Or whatever the situation. Maybe you both stopped and suddenly they back up into you. You'd catch that with a dash cam. And the idea of a dash cam is super easy. It's literally just a video capture device that you just stick to your windshield, and it just sits there recording. So every time your car is running, it is recording. And you think, well, doesn't it eventually run out of space? And of course it does. So the idea is you have a memory card and it just keeps writing in a circle. So, once the card is full, the oldest video segment is overwritten by the newest, and so on and so forth. So that means if you get into an accident, you need to stop the unit and actually capture that video on another device. So what I'm looking at today is something that I think is really slick. This is the Thinkware U3000 4K Dashcam. So this has 4K UHD resolution of 3840 by 2160 and a very generous 156-degree field of view. Let's just jump in and let me give you just a couple of seconds of what this captures when I'm driving. You can see it's really clean and crisp. At night, it uses something called Super Night Vision 4.0 using what's known as a Starvis 2 sensor. So this is all about the capture sensors in the actual dash cam. But this has a lot of other features too, including a radar-based parking mode. So if something happens to your car while it's parked, this will capture it. Now, there are some disclaimers that you need to have an external battery if you want it to be running all the time while you're parked, because you don't want to be tapping and draining your battery. But it does have that feature, and it includes a 64 gig MicroSD card, which I have tucked away on this side of the unit. In fact, let's have a quick visual tour of the unit. On the front, you can see there's the video camera, and that is adjustable, so you can get it to be at just the right position for your windshield, because different windshields have different angles. And on the back, you can see there's a couple of different inputs of various types that you can use for different features, including that external battery. And really, all the interesting stuff is on the bottom. And the top portion of the bottom shows you indicator lights for Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, and yes, it supports both, whether it's recording and whether it's getting GPS data. And then the lower set of buttons let you manually record, let you turn the unit on and off, let you actually go and get into Bluetooth or pairing mode. And finally, that little microphone button, if you push it, lets you actually do a voice recording. So really helpful. And so the idea is that you stick this on your windshield, and you'll notice on the top here I have some of the sticker but not all of the sticker on here. This is a very strong adhesive, and because I'm a reviewer, I take it on and pull it off a lot. So normally you'd take the whole thing off, you'd position it carefully, you'd go into the app and you'd go into view mode to make sure you had it all right. You can adjust this camera just a little bit, you can adjust that angle, and then it's just going to sit on your windshield probably forever. You really should never have to fiddle with it. And then on the back, the power is supplied by this 12-volt plug. Now, I will say that it is a little disappointing that their 12-volt plug doesn't have any additional USB-A or USB-C ports. So if you only have this and you have an older car that doesn't have other USB ports, then you're going to need some sort of adapter or something to be able to charge your phone while this is in use. But you'll notice it has a lot of wire, and the intent of that is that you can actually install it by tucking it under the edge of your window so that it runs all the way along and then maybe under your dashboard to get to that 12-volt plug. I don't do that because obviously I'm still reviewing different units, but for many people that's the sort of preferred installation, and it does include a little tool that helps you get the wire in there. That's a tricky job to do that without damaging your car, so you might consider having a professional install if that's how you want to do it. But once you have that done, or you can just not care about it and just have a wire hanging down, not a big deal. It really is completely without any other effort. So you start your car, you get this little cheery message every time that tells you that it's working.
Please have a safe drive today.
And you just drive and you don't think about it ever again. So at some point you might say, ooh, I'd like to actually check out that footage. So it does have, like I said, parking protection, and it does have an app. And here's where this gets a little tricky. So I'm going to tell you about the app because what they do isn't great, but I want to give you demos first. So I'm going to give you 3 different demos. So let's start with this first one, which I have sped up to make it a little more interesting, but this is right by my local airport. And I'm going to just be driving down that little side road next to the airport, and you can see everything's really, really clear. In this second footage, I'm actually on a back road. It's a dirt road, and it's pretty bumpy, so I thought it'd be interesting to see how it handled those bumps. Finally, the third demo is nighttime driving, and nighttime is extremely challenging for dash cams, and one of the reasons is because there are reflections on the windshield, and those reflections can cause it to focus on the wrong thing, and you kind of see that in this footage at moments. But again, it's pretty darn good. It's certainly good enough for you to be able to see what happened. And let's zoom right into that lower corner, because you can also see that it shows things like current speed, and I find that really helpful. So if you loan your car to your teenager, then you can come back the next day and look on the dash cam and say, so I saw you were on the highway, which is fine, but you were going 90 in a 55 zone. So we really need to have a conversation about that. You know, it captures that data. It also has a red light camera alerts and speed camera alerts. All of that is part of what they call their advanced driver assistance system. So all that, very cool. But let's talk about the app. And it turns out that Thinkware has 2 different apps. So I started by using their recommended app called Thinkware Connected, but it never agreed that the registration code or serial number of this unit was valid. And then it said, well, you can enter your MAC address, which is to do with how Wi-Fi works. And I tried to enter my MAC address exactly like they showed, and it wouldn't let me enter all the characters. So that input field was too short. So I literally couldn't get this to work with the connected app. So I used an older Thinkware program instead called Dashcam, and that one worked great. It saw this. I didn't have to enter anything. It just scanned Bluetooth and paired and figured it all out all by itself. And so let me give you a demo of some of the features. So now we're in that app, and you can see that it gives me a live view, which is great for adjusting that camera angle to be just perfect for your car and your install. And then you can go and you can actually look at footage that you've captured. So I can preview all of the different segments. And the way that dash cams work is they record, I think it's about 2-minute segments, and then it goes to the next block and the next block and the next block, and it's completely seamless. So I already had multiple blocks in the demo, and you never saw where that came. So nothing to worry about there, but this lets you preview them, save them to memory, and then save them to your camera roll on your Android or iPhone. So 2 steps where it really should only be 1, but still pretty easy to do. There are lots of different settings you can see here. There's a lot of different things you can adjust and tweak, which makes it really helpful. But true confession. So it works with the app. The app I find really helpful for settings and adjustments and tweaking things just for my preferences. And then I'm never going to touch it again because it's really easy to pop out the card. So I will pop it out of this right now. And of course, here it's just sitting in front of me. So it makes it easy to pull out this MicroSD card. And it's pretty darn tiny for 64 gig. But you can pop it out just as easily when it's on your windshield and then put it in this adapter if you need to, and the adapter's included. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide this in, and now this is an SD card, and my computer has an SD card reader. So basically, when I'm done with a road trip or a drive or something happens and I want to go and grab that video, then I just take the micro SD card out, put it in the adapter, put it in my computer, and then I have easy and super fast access to everything that's on the card. So this is honestly the way I recommend that you actually work with the video footage on your dash cam. It's super easy. It is Mac and PC and Linux and Chromebook friendly. And when you're done, all you have to do is to remember to put it back into your dash cam. And it has an orientation. It's not a very well designed little card, but either it fits in it or it doesn't. And if it fits, you just have to make sure that it's flush as it is here, and I'm good to go. It's that easy. And that's how I got all that demo footage in, honestly, the time it takes to click and drag onto the desktop. It was super easy to work with, much easier than their app. So we should talk about this app because they're recommending that you use an app that generally everyone finds really frustrating because you can't register your device. The app in the app actually says it works with the U3000. But when I actually tried to register this device, it said it wasn't a valid registration code. So that is pretty enormously frustrating. So the tip here is to use that other app from Thinkware, the one that seems to actually work way better and way more smoothly. Now, the new one might just get an update at some point and suddenly it'll all work and be super easy, but I don't understand why I have to scan a barcode or anything like that when it can just do a Bluetooth pairing and then get data through that so that it can figure out your device and actually start working with it. Obviously, that's not super hard because their other app does just that. So I really like this camera. I really think it's easy to work with. It's a bit big, but I appreciate all of the controls that are on board. And of course, having GPS and having that radar system and having the Starvis 2 sensor for nighttime, all of that's a big win. If you just use your app and your smartphone for setup and configuration and then don't think about it again, that's exactly how I think these are designed to use, where you just, it's sort of an install and forget until there's a reason you're like, oh, I wish I had video. I do. Oh my gosh, I've had this dash cam running all along. And I'll also add that there's actually a rear view camera you can get. And that's why one of the things on the back actually says, let me just double check, it says that. It says external, right? And that external is another camera. So they sell a 2K rear view camera that's paired with the U3000 4K dash cam front unit, and then you can install it. Now you have two wires because you have one for power and then one that connects the front to the rear. But put the rear one on your back windshield or your back window, make sure that's positioned correctly, and now you're recording. It's actually going to record both cameras simultaneously. And now when you pull out that card, you have twice as much data, and if someone rear ends you, then you have that on video too. So it is a really smart upgrade, but for a lot of people, they just want that front camera, and this is, again, I will say, sort of a plug and play. It's an install and forget, and it's really, there's a lot going for it here. So dimensions wise, it is one of the larger dash cams I've seen at 5.5 by 7.5 by 3.9. That's sort of that maximum depth there. And it's pretty light. The adhesive's plenty strong enough to hold it on your windshield, and it should be perfectly fine even in super hot days or super cold days. They usually have quite a range that they can work in with temperature. And that's everything I got. I think that they have some issues with the software, but it's so easy to sidestep the software and just work with the unit that I really find this a really great solution. And that video that it captures is so crisp. It's really nice. I mean, it looks nice on a big TV if you send it from your computer up. So, there's a lot of benefit there, because that also then gives you the ability to verify license plates and stuff. So hopefully you don't get into an accident, but if you do, then this Thinkware U3000 4K dashcam is a pretty solid option. Now, I am going to ask you to subscribe to my channel. Click or tap on that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon so that you get notifications of my new content. Give me a thumbs up if you found this to be of value and helpful, and I certainly hope you did, and I think it's pretty clear that I am very candid. Companies send me their gear, but I'm not a shill for their marketing department. I am an independent reviewer, and I'm going to tell you the good and the bad. So please go ahead and subscribe. Sweet. This is the Thinkware U3000 4K dashcam. It is $429.99, currently discounted down to $379.99 at Amazon.com. If you want to pick up that 2K rear view camera in addition, that rear view camera is an additional $129.99, but you can pick up both as a package on Amazon for a slightly discounted price instead of buying them separately. Whatever it is, a dash cam like this can be the difference between you being innocent and you being guilty of a crime that occurs or an accident that happens. So really, really helpful. And of course, on the more positive side, it also lets you capture all of the beautiful things that you see when you're on a road trip or you're just going up to the local national park or something. So great fun. It's everything I got. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in my car. So I'll hope to catch you in my next video.